All right, welcome everybody to it's got Paige's face up there for some reason. I'll do that one so you can see me. Just need to be the center of attention. So welcome everybody who's jumped on tonight, or if you're watching the recording, hello. So yeah, this is just an info session. We'll go for about half an hour just to educate people on the Isagenix nutritional cleansing system and how you can incorporate that into your lifestyle to hit your health and well-being goals, whatever they may be. So my name's Tully. I'll share a little bit about my story, and then I'll get in and explain how the system works, and then we'll hear from a couple of other people who have, sorry about the background noise, have used the system as well. So let's get into it. So my experience, just briefly, so 5 years ago, I was working as a physiotherapist in private practice, and that's when Isagenix came into my life. I was already pretty healthy, to be honest, but I was always open to alternative solutions for my clients and the people I knew. So I was always open to new ideas, and I saw a physio friend of mine, Rory, have phenomenal results with the Isagenix system. He was struggling, and it really helped put him back on track. So I was curious to see what it was all about. Decided to give it a crack myself. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, to be honest, because like I said, I was pretty healthy. I was doing all the right things. I was eating clean. I was exercising, doing all that stuff. But the main reason I wanted to do it was because Mum wouldn't do it unless I did it, and I really wanted Mum to do it. So I jumped on board and gave it a crack, and knew there was a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if it wasn't for me, I got my money back anyway. So gave it a crack. But yeah, 2 weeks in, I was pretty blown away. Like I woke up. It was just after 2 weeks in, and I woke up fresh with mental clarity. I didn't have that brain fog. My reliance on coffee to get through long days was gone. I was sleeping through the night and pulling up after workouts better, and I just started to feel like I was functioning at optimal. I thought I was doing well before, and it's kind of like I was at 80%, and it took me to that 95, 100%, and I started to feel what true well-being was. And people started to notice. My physio clients started to notice, and people around me started to notice. So I started to share. And then Isagenix is a network marketing company, so you can't buy this stuff on the shelves. The only way people hear about it is through people that are already using the products. So I started to share that with people, and long story short, I got to the point where I matched my physio income with the income that Isagenix was paying me for referring the products and then building a team. Fast forward 5 years later, I haven't had to work full-time as a physio for about 3.5 years, and I'm still sharing these products and still running info sessions like this, just because there's a better way. And then there's a lot of people that are struggling with excess weight or energy levels, and the only way people are going to find out about these products and see if it's a good fit for them is if we share this with them. So that's why we're here tonight, is just to open up and to share how the system works. And then if it feels like a right fit for you, then you can take the next step. So first of all, does any of this sound familiar? Low energy levels, mood swings, because most of the people that I was treating when I was working as a physio would have a good handful of these. So as we're going through tonight, or if you're watching the replay as you're watching this, just have a think, do any of these apply to you? But also have a think of the people that you know and care about, your partner, your brother, your sister, your close friends. Like, do they complain of these things, and have they been complaining about them for a while? Because just because it's common doesn't mean that it's normal. And there's a few issues that contribute to all of those things, because basically all of those things are an indication that our body's out of balance. And so Isagenix is all about bringing our body back into balance. So there's a few key things that affect our well-being and contribute to our bodies being out of balance. One of those is xenoestrogens, or toxins. And these are like environmental estrogens, and they come into our body through herbicides, pesticides, the air, the water we drink, processed foods, alcohol, all of these things that are coming into our body that we're ingesting either through our skin or through our mouth that aren't supposed to be there. And it affects the way that our bodies function. So that's impacting things. Soil depletion means that we're just not getting the level of nutrition that our bodies need to thrive. And so even if we're eating clean, like I was doing all the right things, eating clean, it's still a struggle to get all the micronutrients, because if the nutrition isn't in the soil, then the nutrition isn't going to be in the food. And so getting extra nutritional support to optimize our health is it's becoming a necessity these days. And then the last thing is stress and cortisol. Like, stress impacts our health. So even if we're doing all the right things, health and exercise wise, nutrition and exercise wise, then we're still experiencing some level of stress. So supporting our body with that is going to be part of bringing our body back into balance as well. And that's essentially what the isogenic system is designed to do. So this guy right here, John Anderson, he founded the company. So he's been in the natural supplementation field for a very, very, very long time. His family's got a history in organic farming. And so that's his background. And he's formulated over 2,000 products for 600 different companies. And you might be thinking, what do I care about this guy? Like, I just want to learn about how these products work. But I think it's really important to understand the quality and the integrity that stands behind this system of products. Because it's not just this pop-up shop where somebody had a good idea and decided to make some supplements. It's like this guy had dedicated his life to it and he's very, very good at what he does. And he has this way of combining Eastern medicine principles with the most up-to-date Western nutrition science. So that's what the system is, essentially. So there are three main pillars. The first is help the body cleanse out impurities, so they deal with these xenoestrogens that we were talking about. The second is looking at nutrition saturation. Are we actually getting the building blocks we need to thrive? And then the third is help the body deal with stress. So how does it do that? The first one, supporting the body's natural detoxification process. So the first product we'll talk about is Cleanse for Life. So this is not a diuretic. This is not anything that forces the body to do. It's not a laxative. It doesn't force the body to do anything it doesn't naturally do. All it does is support the body's natural detoxification pathways. So it assists that process. So it's a very gentle cleanse. It's a cellular cleanse. So it's not focused on one particular organ. And it's an aloe vera based drink with herbs and botanicals that help that detoxification process. So we combine using this with intermittent fasting to let the body rest from digestion, and just take a break and reset things. And I still incorporate cleansing into my life from an energy and a health standpoint. There are so many benefits to it. It's not a weight loss thing. People think because you're fasting and going without food for a certain period of time that it's a weight loss thing, and it absolutely is not. Like, I've put on 3.5 kilos in the last 2 months using this system. So it's not a weight loss thing, and the cleansing definitely isn't for that. Although if you do have excess fat that you're trying to get rid of, it will help to do that. So the second thing is nutrition saturation. So this is a really important one. And this is one that I struggled to get my head around, to be honest. As a physio, I was eating clean. I had, this anti-shake, anti-supplement belief system for some reason. I just didn't think I needed it. And my body told me otherwise, because when I started to do it, I started to feel a lot better. And then I started to look into why that was the case. And the first way and the most simplest way that this system helps with nutrition saturation is the shakes. So this is a complete meal. So it's got proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, low GI carbohydrates, healthy fats from coconut oil. It's got 21 vitamins and minerals. And it's also got pre and probiotics for gut health. It's a good source of fiber. So it really is like the perfect complete meal. And a really important part is that it actually tastes really good. I hadn't really had many shakes before using this system, but apparently some of them can be pretty nasty, especially the plant-based ones. So the fact that these taste good, and 5 years in, I'm still looking forward to my shake in the morning, is a testament to how good these bad boys are. And I think the other thing to point out with is you can use this as a base. So I sort of personally would make a smoothie bowl out of it and might add a few bits and pieces. They're perfectly complete as they are. And if weight loss is a goal, or if you're just starting to use the system, I suggest just use them as they are to begin with, but you can start to mix it up a bit, which is kind of fun as well. And then the other part of getting that full nutrition saturation is the complete essentials. So these are little supplement packs. They're basically you're covering all bases. So vitamin D3, CoQ10, resveratrol, all of these things that are really important for cellular health and for energy levels. A really good quality multivitamin. That's basically, I have one of these in the morning and one of these in the evening, and I just know day in, day out, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm busy, whether I'm doing my food prep properly or not, that I'm sorted. So these are super handy. And then the third pillar, helping the body deal with stress. So this is a really important part and a very unique part of the system. And to be honest, I probably could have built a company just off the back of this product alone. The Ionic Supreme, it's a tonic and it's got 9 different adaptogens in it. And adaptogens are basically metabolic regulators that help the body deal with stress. So they help the body combat the cortisol response, whether that's physical stress. So if you're an athlete, or if you're doing lots of training, you're under a lot of physical stress. Often athletes are the most stressed people going around, even though mentally they might, well, sometimes mentally they're stressed as well, but there's a lot of physical stress and then emotional stress. And yeah, like I said, mental stress. So those 3, it helps the body adapt to that. So you're going to hear some stories from some guys tonight, but a big response I get, especially from women, but from guys as well, is they just feel more balanced on the system, less stressed out, can handle stress better, sleep better, improved energy. And this product is a big part of that. Yeah, I love it. I could talk about it all day, adaptogens. And there are some other products. They've got adaptogens scattered throughout the system. So the other source of adaptogens is the isogenesis, and that actually comes in the Complete Essentials, which was that vitamin pack that I showed you before. That's an incredible supplement that helps the body combat oxidative stress. So it helps the body combat stress on a cellular level, which is pretty cool. And then you've got the E+ shots. Ben's sharing his story tonight, and I think these are definitely his favorite product. And it's got some plant-based caffeine in it, plus the adaptogen. So it gives you an energy boost, but without you peaking out and without the energy crash afterwards that you can get from coffee or caffeine. So really good as a really healthy pre-workout, or if you've just got a busy day, if you're trying to keep up with the kids, if you're trying to study, or if you've got a long day of work, these things are spot on as a healthy substitute to really give you that little bit of extra oomph. I'm just going to check the chat box here. E-shots are life. Yeah, and Jamie Richards is on too. He says, amen. Yeah, so they're good. So sometimes they don't come in the starter pack. So if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I think I'm going to give this system a crack, worth adding a box of these in because they help with cleanse days heaps as well. So that's the science side of it. And I think that's really cool for people to understand. It's not a weight loss thing at all. If you've got weight to lose, it's probably going to help with that. It's about bringing the body back into balance. But the most important thing is, does it actually work? So you've heard my story, and we're just going to hear from some other people as well. So we have Ellie, who was going to share her story tonight. So these are Ellie's 16-week results. And Ben, you know Ellie's story pretty well. Do you give me a thumbs up because I saw you saw Ellie's transformation. I might get you to share her story or share what you saw unfold.
Sure.
She went about it. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Epic. So Ellie's story, you put me on the spot here, but Ellie was studying full-time to become a med student, and obviously with studying you become very fatigued and very tired, studying long hours, living at university and college, probably not the best food and nutrition there. So for her, she used to struggle with fatigue and having the right nutrients and the right food. So for her to be able to have Arsenix as a system, to then feel her, to then be able to be at peak performance, to then study, was like probably the biggest thing for her. And just gaining energy. And I don't know how much weight she actually did lose, but
looks like a fair bit.
yeah, I think it was like 12 kilos, 13 kilos.
Yeah,
I think from memory.
Yeah, incredible.
And 14 kilos, Paige says. Paige should probably share her journey better than I can, but
Yeah. Awesome.
Just seeing the difference between, because I met Ellie before isogenics, and then during isogenics, the difference between her energy levels was like incredible.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, dude. And I think, like you say, she was on a student budget when she started. So to be able to do that and to be able to afford to do that as a student is a pretty cool thing as well. So let's move on, and we're going to hear. So I'm going to share Linda's story because she couldn't jump on tonight either. So Linda's got a young family, and she was stressed out of her head, working full time, looking after her family, lots of feelings of anxiousness, and she just sort of hit rock bottom pretty much and reached out to a friend who she knew was using isogenics and got on board. And these results are actually her first 30 days. So everybody is different, but she followed the system to a T. And the thing I love about her story is, like, if you look at the physical transformation, it's like, holy shit, like, did that really happen in 30 days? But she still says the mental transformation, how she felt within herself and how she could show up for her family was far outweighed the physical transformation. So she did it more for an energy and I guess getting a sense of self back. And then as a result, the weight came off as well. But I'm going to get Paige to jump in and share her story now. Put her on the spot tonight as well. Did you just want to share your experience with it all, Paige? I haven't got a picture for you, but you can paint us a picture.
Okay, I can do that, sure. Well, for me, I'm a bit like Tully. I was always like really healthy and really into like the alternative lifestyle and making sure my body got everything it needed. But there was always something missing for me. It was more so the energy levels and like the mental clarity. It's kind of like I had like this cloud above my head all the time, and my intention for isogenics wasn't to lose weight, and I actually did. I wish I kind of had the photos for you now because I didn't actually notice it myself, but there was actually a big transformation in the time I've been using isogenics, which is about 5 months now, but it was a really quick transformation. And so before isogenics, it was just I wanted my energy levels to be up there and just to clear that mental fog. And now it's like I'm sharp and I'm on point and I just have so much energy all the time. And I've actually found now I don't even need as much sleep. I used to sleep about 12 hours sometimes. Like I was a big sleeper. I liked my sleep. And now I can sleep 4 or 5 hours a night and still be sharp and still be on point. And it's really epic. And I think also the transformation for me is being able to stabilize my emotions and be more in touch with my emotions as well. And I think I've said it before, like when I've been cleansing, I notice the emotions that come up and it's like I'm more in touch with my body. Amazing. So and I've lost weight and I've like kind of shredded up a little bit, so unintentionally, so it's a bonus.
Gym Page. Thanks so much for sharing your story, Paige. That's epic.
No worries.
That's so good, and that's such a good point. And it's a common one that I hear is, and because it's such a misconception that it's this shape thing, but it's actually the system actually helps people improve their relationship with their body because they start to feel good. So then they can start to feel what makes them not feel good. So you start to be able to make better choices and listen to your body a lot more because of it. So thanks for bringing that up, Paige. And then last but not least, Benjo.
Epic. Can you guys hear me?
Got ya.
Awesome. So before isogenics, I was working long hours, 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts as a diesel mechanic. And because I was working these long hours, I fed my body with probably not the best food and just really toxic food, and just wasn't really feeding my body what it really needed. And with the stress of working long hours and also working in a toxic job, I just started putting on the weight and just became just real toxic lifestyle. And I was just so depleted in energy. It was just like, I was just going downhill basically. And I was introduced to these amazing products and systems and community by Caitlin. And I've been using this system now for 4.5 years. And as a result of using these amazing products and being part of this community, I was able to shred off 23 kilos, lose a crazy amount of body fat, gain so much more energy back in my life. Like, it's just phenomenal how much energy I have now compared to where I was before. And just like my physical aspect of myself has just transformed. Like, as you can see in the photos, I just look completely different.
You look like you got your soul back.
Yeah, 100%. And
amazing, man.
Yeah. And now I'm just really inspired to share these products with other people so they can, you know, if they're struggling to lose some weight or if they need some more energy, just really sharing from an authentic place and just sharing my story to help them. And something I do want to share is how massive the community has been for me and my growth. So after losing all the weight, I then realized how in tune I am with myself, and it just opened me up to then be able to learn and grow as a person. And the community has just been able to support you in that has just been the biggest thing for me in Isogenics. And I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah,
and
such an important point.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Thanks so much for sharing, dude. And what would you say it's done, just quickly, like for your confidence levels? Like as a guy, it's like we don't talk about body stuff that much as men, but like what has this done for your confidence in yourself?
For sure. So obviously when I was overweight, I was feeling really insecure about the way I looked. So how I showed up in the public and social aspects, it was just really like, I just felt really insecure about how I showed up. And now I just like, when I walk through life, I physically know within myself that I'm happy with who I am and how I look and how that feels good for me from the heart. Actually, it just feels great and feels like, I don't know, I can't really express in words how it makes me feel, but to be able to,
Yeah, love it. Thanks, man. Thanks for touching on that. And the community is such an important part of it, because like it doesn't matter what works, it matters what you can maintain. And having a supportive community is such a big part of being able to maintain results over time. And I've been working as a health professional for over 9 years, and I've seen nothing come close to the ongoing support that this community does offer, which is a huge part of it. So obviously ISA's got the stories, which I'm just going to see the chat, and exercised regularly. So yeah, you've heard the stories, and over the last 5 years, like I've seen it'd be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stories like that, like literally. And so, but what's cool about Isogenics is it's actually got the science to back it up as well. And they've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in getting good quality peer-reviewed science. And they've got 9 different peer-reviewed journals. So if that's something that you want to look more at, just go to isogenicshealth.net, and there's a whole science tab for you to dive in deep to all that stuff. So the cool thing about Isogenics that really opened my mind up was its vision. And its vision is to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process create the largest health and wellness company in the world. And initially I was like, it's a pretty bold vision. But what I've seen over the last 5 years is like, this is really starting to happen, like in a massive way. And what I love about it is, as a physio, I was helping people with physical health, and I saw it's like, cool, that's great, helping with their physical health, it's life-changing. But to be able to provide people with a platform to transform their financial well-being is huge, because as we spoke about, stress is a huge contributor to our health, and a massive percentage of stress is financial stress. And like, this is a study by the Australian Psychology Society, and they found that 81% of Australians cite either financial or workplace stress as their primary source of stress. So Isogenics has an ability to help people relieve some of that. So how to get started? There's different packs to get started on. Most people, I get started with the Healthy Living Pack, which works out to be about $20 a day. there's just a 30-day system that works out to be about $14 a day. But just the thing to remember is there is a pack to suit any goals or any budget. So no matter where you're at the moment, there will be a way for you to get started on something that fits where you're at. So just speak to the person who's either sent you the recording of this call or who's got you on here tonight. And then basically, like I touched on, like there's a rebate system, and I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. Again, the person who got you on this call can send you a little video that goes through this if you want to learn more. But if you get started with a couple of friends, you can actually earn up to $370 back straight away. So there's a very simple rebate system in place to help people do that. And there's a really short video that you can watch. So definitely reach out to the person who showed you this, and they can send that through to you as well, so you can get an understanding of how that works. So at the end of the day, you're going to get your health, energy, and your body back, or you get your money back. So there's 100% money back guarantee. So you can try the system, use it for 30 days. And if it doesn't vibe with you, all good, send the empty containers back and you get your money back. No questions asked. So if you're kind of on the fence and it feels like the right next step for you and you want to give it a crack, my advice is just lean into that and see how you go. You've got a community here that'll back you in and help you get the results that you're after. Other than that, I'm going to leave you to it. Thanks for jumping on, guys. I'm going to stop the recording there.